no character's like, I am evil, I will do evil things. No, it's not like that. It's usually like, I was betrayed by my childhood love. This is going to be guessing who Swain is from the music alone, and obviously seeing his image, it's impossible not to see. So they really lean on this idea of the Grand General. The horns are the marching. He's looking over at his army and he says, hello everybody, welcome to the, I am the defiant ruler. And he has this sort of characteristic of machismo and strength and confidence. It's almost like a minor, so you would expect it to be in major. I am Swain, I am the greatest. But instead here we get this really somber, sad thing. And I actually wonder if that doesn't infer some degree of information about Swain, and that Swain has suffered a great deal and risen through the ranks, and he was maybe a lowly soldier, and now he is the Grand General, and he has lost everything, but now he is the Grand General. So there's an inherent melancholy in this music that, even though it's a national anthem, and it's almost like, oh, say, can you see? But it's, oh, say, can you see? It's a little bit minor, a little bit not so good, and a little bit sad. So it's interesting. I actually think that the chanting has some sort of degree of supernatural element. Right, that whispering. But we have to understand that Swain, evil characters in general, even in video games, they're not evil to themselves. Everything that a character does is what they feel is right. And so no character's like, I am evil, I will do evil things. No, it's not like that. It's usually like, I was betrayed by my childhood love and I became agitated because, no one loves me. And so I'm going to make sure that I can always be loved forever. And so I'm going to take over this country. I'm going to become a dictator. I'm going to become the Noxian Grand General so I never have to suffer again. That's why I joined up and signed up and went onto YouTube and became Marco Meatball, because I wanted to make sure that no one... Sorry, we're talking about Swain. In fact, that cello, that's the sadness in Swain's character. I really think I'm onto something here. The cello is inferring the sense of sadness and loss that Swain maybe has experienced, and maybe that's a little bit too generic, and I don't know the full details of the specifics about who Swain is because I've never played League of Legends. I think like the cello is very much representing Swain and representing that feeling of loss that he has. This is really fun, actually. I don't know if what this infers about his character, but listen to how maybe that's scheming or using his brain or formulating ideas or thoughts, or it's really interesting. That's conniving manipulation sound quality. It's like I'm plotting something. Slow build up here. Ooh, I have to wonder if Swain has used some sort of like tactic or some sort of, I don't know, like he forced people to join into his army by using some sort of device or some like way to change their brains or something to convince them to come on board, because the chanting is really interesting. And I wonder if that's the army or if that's his inner, like, I don't know, sort of like wizardry or something that's manipulating them into doing things that they don't want to do. I don't know. Yeah, I dig that. That's pretty cool. Is it my favorite theme? No, it's not. But I like that. I want to check out the champion spotlight here. But before I do that, I want to check out the champion trailer, The General's Might. Oh, so maybe that, okay, so he's got crows that have 3 eyes. Okay. Well, that's cool. So he has like crow's wings. Swain voice lines. Let's listen to a couple of these.
People often ask for a hero when a villain is what they truly need.
Okay.
Every day I rule, Noxus becomes a more perfect expression of my will.
Okay.
I suppose I should be grateful they have the decency to fear me. The more they try to kill me, the more they reveal I am on the right path.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's watch this champion spotlight.
We are, all of us, born into a lie. That there are those who are good and those who are evil. But these words mean nothing. In truth, the only measure of a soul is the strength of their will.
Welcome to the Swain Champion Spotlight. Swain's passive, Ravenous Flock, has 2 components. First, enemy champions leave behind soul fragments when they die. Shadowy ravens scavenge nearby soul fragments, healing Swain. He can also store a bunch of soul fragments, and we'll go over what that means a little bit later.
Okay, let's look at his lore. Jericho Swain was born into an affluent Noxian family that had been around shortly after the nation's founding. His noble house was among many that were favored by the Emperor of Noxus, Borim Darkwill, having been instrumental in his rise to the throne. Yet House Swain was also among many that hungered for power, and as such were part of a secret cabal called the Black Rose. His parents were especially intent on finding some dark power hidden in the depths of the Immortal Bastion, that which eluded discovery for many years as it cackled in the darkness like a raven's claw. Cabal had aided Darkwill's political rise, but in time he rejected their influence thereafter. LeBlanc, head matriarch of the Black Rose, manipulated Swain as a young nobleman into revealing the Black Rose and executing its most prominent members, including Swain's own parents. and LeBlanc herself. Oh my goodness. However, LeBlanc's execution was a deception, and she retreated back into the shadows of Noxus to wait for an opportunity to strike. For exposing the corruption, Swain was granted a commission in the Noxian army where he would serve for years to come. Okay, so he did build himself up into a career soldier and into... Okay. Swain learned firsthand that the Empire's true strength was upheld not by pure Noxian ferocity, but by all its people united in spite of their origins. Nobles and foreign slaves alike were all seen as soldiers in the front lines. Swain had carved out his career in securing the western borders, as well as expanding into Shurima. But in time, the aging emperor grew more paranoid and unhinged over his own mortality. Fighting wars on too many fronts, lusting over magical relics, greed became the clear motivation of that regime. During the invasion of Ionia, Darkwill retasked much of the warbands to hunt for artifacts that could extend mortal lifespan. With Swain's forces depleted, it became nearly impossible to engage the enemy. At the Battle of Placidium, his troops were overrun in what should have been an ambush. Swain was scarred from his battle, gravely wounded with his knee shattered and his arm cut off. On the verge of death, he felt a familiar darkness press upon him again as a raven approached to feed, but he would not let it take him. Staring into the bird's eyes, he saw a vision of the dark truth, that LeBlanc had seduced Darkwill with promises of extending his life, and had sent Swain to die. It was not the raven that told him this, but something deeper. This was the great power that Swain's parents had been looking for, and now he knew it could be found. Returning to Noxus, Swain was disgraced and regarded as nothing more than a cripple. Through his fragile state, Swain set about in search of that strange power, that which cackled in the darkness like a raven's caw. What he found was Raum, an ancient entity that preyed on the dying and consumed their secrets. But the man solved the puzzle even the demon did not anticipate, a way to wield its power. Dear God, okay, there's a lot of stuff to read there. Swain is cold and calculating, often seeing people's lives as pieces in a bigger game. He is a master tactician in general, able to predict his enemy's next move with his cunning intellect and win battles swiftly and efficiently. Swain does not often act in his own interests, rather doing whatever is best for Noxus, as he knows that the Empire is much more important than him, and he is committed to returning it back to its foundations and making sure that it outlasts him. That's a really interesting thing. You really hear quite a bit of that in the music itself. You hear the marching of the people of Noxus. You hear the whispers as the ravens take hold at the death moment, and you hear Swain's pursuit of what he must do in the music itself. And it's a really fascinating thing that I think it's the beauty of music and in the beauty of these character themes is that we can extrapolate a ton of information just from listening to the music. And I hope that this is insightful for you, because it's certainly a lot of fun for me to figure out and guess who the characters are based on, sure, what they look like, but especially on what their music is, because that helps us deduce a lot. If you like this sort of stuff, feel free to like and subscribe. Check out the other videos on the channel, and if you want to support me directly, Patreon is always the way to do it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.